If you've been learning English for a while, perhaps for years, maybe even getting top marks in school, but every time you try to speak, you freeze up. The words won't come, and even a simple English sentence feels impossible. You're not alone. Many learners share this frustration, strong reading and writing skills, but a block when it comes to speaking, or a lack of confidence when trying to string words together in real time. The good news is that speaking English fluently and correctly doesn't require elusive talent. There are concrete, practical steps you can take starting today. Let's walk through them together. First, let's address a core truth that is both a blessing and a challenge. The core principle I'm about to share accounts for a whopping 70% of your fluency and success in speaking English. Master this, and you'll be far ahead of most learners. As an added bonus, while you're learning this, you'll also pick up some important grammar points, simple but commonly misunderstood by many students. Pay close attention, because understanding something incorrectly can be worse than not understanding it at all. So, what is this all-important principle? It's a simple mantra: a noun never stands alone. Let's unpack that. In English, nouns are almost never used by themselves in a sentence. They're always accompanied by something that indicates their number, specificity, or ownership. Words like a, on, the, some, or numbers. Imagine you have a friend named Dan. The word Dan in Vietnamese means name or reputation, and people with reputation are rarely alone. In English, the same is true for nouns. They don't stand by themselves. They need company. That's what we mean by a noun never stands alone. Let's look at a concrete example. Take the word motorbike. In English, motorbike is a noun. But if you just say motorbike in a sentence by itself, it feels incomplete. You need to indicate how many motorbikes you're talking about, or if you're talking about a specific one. That's why we say a motorbike, one motorbike, or the motorbike. Let's break down the ways you can refer to a single object in English. 1. By using the number one motorbike. 2. By using the article a or an, a motorbike or an orange. 3. By using the when referring to a specific item known to both the speaker and listener. The motorbike. Let's talk about a and an. They both mean one, but they're used differently depending on the sound that begins the next word. If the noun starts with a vowel sound, you use an. For example, an apple, an orange, an umbrella. If the noun starts with a consonant sound, you use a. For example, a motorbike, a chair, a cat. Why is this important? Because it not only helps your English sound natural, but it also prevents misunderstandings in conversation. If you just say motorbike, the other person will be confused. Are you talking about one, many, a specific one, or motorbikes in general? Now, let's talk about using the. We use the when we know exactly which object we're talking about. For example, imagine you walk into a shop and say, "I want to buy a motorbike." At this point, you haven't chosen one yet. You're just expressing a general desire. But once you've picked a specific bike and want the shopkeeper to hold it for you, you say, "Please keep the motorbike for me." Here, the motorbike means that both you and the shopkeeper know exactly which bike you're referring to. Let's practice. You want to say a chair in English. It's a chair. If you want to say an apple, it's an apple. If you're talking about a specific chair, it's the chair. What about when you're talking about more than one? That's when plurals come in. For most nouns, you simply add an S at the end. 2 motorbikes, 3 chairs, 10 apples. Easy, right? But English, being English, loves its exceptions. Some nouns require S instead of just S to become plural. The rule is simple. If a noun ends in S, ch, ch, ex, or z, add es. For example, bus becomes buses, watch becomes watches, box becomes boxes. Let's practice with watch. One watch is a watch, or one watch. 2 or more watches, 2 watches, some watches, or the watches, if you're referring to specific ones. How about with apple? 1 apple is an apple. 2 apples, 2 apples. If you're talking about a group of apples, you can say some apples or the apples if they're specific. Let's recap the core ways to talk about nouns. For a single, unspecified item, a or an plus noun, a cat, an egg. Or for a specific item, the noun, the cat, or the egg. For more than one, number plus plural noun, 2 cats, 3 eggs. Some plus plural noun, some cats, or the plus plural noun, the cats. Now, there are exceptions. Some nouns can't be counted. These are called uncountable nouns. Examples are water, salt, sugar, information, and advice. You can't say 1 water or 2 salts. Instead, you simply say water or the water if you're referring to a specific quantity. How do you know if a noun is countable or uncountable? Try putting a number in front of it. If it sounds strange, it's probably uncountable. For example, 1 chair is fine, but 1 salt sounds odd. For uncountable nouns, you can use measurement words: a glass of water, a piece of advice, a bag of sugar. Now, let's move forward to building a sentence. Here's another key mantra: subject plus verb. In English, every complete sentence needs a subject, who or what the sentence is about, and a verb, what the subject is doing. For example, the cat sleeps. I eat. They play football. Let's break that down. The subject can be a noun, the cat, the students, my friend, or a pronoun, I, you, he, she, they. The verb tells us what the subject does: sleeps, eat, play. To make a simple, correct sentence in English, always start with the subject and follow with the verb. English sentences usually follow this order. 1. Subject, I, the dog, students. 2. Verb, like, eat, run. 3. Object or complement if needed, apples, fast, in the park. For example, I like apples. She reads books. The students study English. Let's practice building sentences. A boy runs. Here, a boy is the subject. Runs is the verb. The girls sing. The girls is the subject. Sing is the verb. Some cats sleep. Some cats is the subject. Sleep is the verb. Notice how the subject always comes first, followed by the verb. If you remember and practice this structure, you'll be able to create hundreds of sentences in English. But what about questions? In English, questions often invert the order or use helping verbs. For example, statement, you like apples. Question, do you like apples? Os, mein species. The basic question formula is do, does, plus subject, plus verb, plus object. Do you eat rice? Does he play soccer? Do they watch TV? For be verbs am is are, just invert the order. Statement, you are happy. Question, are you happy? Now let's talk about the importance of repetition and practice. You might understand these rules, but to speak fluently, you need to practice them until they become automatic. Here's how. 1. Practice speaking simple sentences aloud every day. Start with I am, you are, he is, she is, they are. Add objects or complements. I am a student, you are my friend, she is happy, they are tired. 2. Use real-life examples. Look around you, name objects, and make sentences. The book is on the table. I see a dog. He has 2 pens. 3. Practice with plurals. There are 3 chairs. Some apples are in the basket. The watches are on the shelf. 4. Try using uncountable nouns in sentences. There is water in the glass. I need some information. She has a lot of money. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Speaking is a skill, not a test. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Here are some important tips for building fluency. Focus on communication, not perfection. The goal is to be understood, not to speak like a native speaker from day one. Listen and repeat. Find audio or video content in English, listen to simple sentences, and repeat them aloud. Imitate the rhythm and intonation of native speakers. Record yourself speaking and listen for areas to improve. Practice with a partner or even by yourself in front of a mirror. Let's do a quick exercise together. Imagine you're at a market. You want to buy apples, eggs, and bread. How would you ask for them in English? I want some apples. Can I have a loaf of bread? I'd like a dozen eggs, please. Notice how we use some for items when we don't specify the exact number, and measurement words like loaf and dozen for uncountable nouns like bread and eggs. Now, let's try describing your day using the sentence structure we've learned. I wake up at 7 o'clock. I eat breakfast. I go to school. I study English. I play football with my friends. I come home. I have dinner. I go to bed. Each sentence follows the same basic pattern: subject plus verb, subject, or complement. With these building blocks, you can express yourself in almost any situation. As your vocabulary grows, you can make your sentences longer and more detailed. I wake up at 7 o'clock and eat breakfast with my family. After school, I study English and do my homework. In the evening, I watch TV and talk with my parents. Don't rush to use complicated grammar. Start simple and build up. Remember, confidence comes from practice and repetition. Even if you make mistakes, keep going. Over time, your sentences will become more natural and your speaking will improve. Let's review the core principles. 1. Nouns never stand alone. Use a, and, they, some, or a number before nouns. 2. Learn the difference between countable and uncountable nouns and use them correctly. 3. Build sentences with the structure: subject plus verb plus object complement. 4. Practice, practice, practice. Out loud, every day. By mastering these basics, you'll have a strong foundation for speaking English fluently and correctly. Keep these rules in mind, practice them daily, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your speaking skills improve. Stay motivated, be patient with yourself, and remember, every sentence you speak is a step forward. Fluency isn't magic. It's the result of consistent, focused practice. You've got this.